Good evening, gentlemen. Here we go again. I populated the rest of that stuff on the board, and I modified a 28-pin RAM socket to convert the socket over to use a 28C64. So what I'll have to do is make concatenate 4 copies of the ROM together and then burn that to this thing to get I've got everything, all the unused address lines tied to plus 5 volts because it was the easiest way to do it. So it'll access the top area of the ROM all the time. So that should be fine. I was originally going to make it so I could, have different ROMs on it and switch it, but I don't. For some reason, I was thinking like you took the system ROM off of the CPU card and put it on this card, but I think they're actually 2 separate ROMs, so I don't think that was necessary. Like being able to switch to different ROMs. So, yeah, I'm getting ready to burn the ROM. I guess we'll see if it works. I still haven't found my virtual sector generator. Oop, that's plugged in. I have made some modifications to the CPU board. The controller board was set up for use with the org0 board, which banks out the ROM in favor of RAM in order to run CPM, and it goes in the back slot here. Had it out checking the configuration. So that also requires some modifications to the CPU board for the org0 board to work. A different configuration of the RAM card, so I had to remove some jumper wires here, and I soldered in some headers so I could wire wrap the configuration instead of having to solder jumpers in there, because that's annoying to have to change later. Cat, your claws are sharp. Get them out of my leg. But I need to burn a different ROM for the thing to work right with the banking stuff. So this is a 2716. My programmer won't program a 2716 even if I had one. But I did find some 28C16s on eBay, assuming that they're not fake. But they won't be here for like a week, so I'm going to just have to set this machine aside for now. It won't come up at all without the ROM, I guess, unless I did something wrong. But I assume that it's just because I don't have the new ROM in it yet. So hopefully that's the case. I guess if it's not, I can put it back the way it was. I should, in retrospect, I should have just modified the controller board back to work with the unmodified CPU card and org0 board and gotten it working that way before modifying the rest of this stuff. But I am nothing if not an idiot, as you fine folks who have ever watched any of my garbage know. I guess it's just time to get the H11 working again. If I can't solve that arcing issue on the other H19, I didn't mention this. Alright, so I was working on that H19, not this H19, the other one, and we were having those arcing issues, and I kept thinking to myself, I thought I had more parts than this. There should have been 4 machines instead of 3, and I was like, and then lo and behold, there was a whole working H19 in the other room that I had already assembled out of the best parts and set aside. I'd had it at Tandy Assembly, I think, and put it all back in the storeroom with everything else and forgot about it. Stupid. I swear, I think I'm 46, 45, somewhere in there, think I'm already senile. It's really something. What the hell's wrong with me? It's disgusting. All right. H11 tomorrow then. But yeah, so I already forgot what else. See what I'm talking about? Stupid. Maybe it's just because it's midnight and I'm tired. So I've got a perfectly good working H19. It's got a white screen instead of a green screen, but that's fine. So I guess even if I can't solve the arcing issue with that other one to use with the H11, I can just use like my ADM3 with the H8 and use the H19 with the H11. It'll be fine, whatever. So yes, let's look at the boards before I go for the night. If I can get it out. So here's the demodified controller board. Nothing special about that. I just put this capacitor and resistor back. Didn't have any quarter watt 68 ohm resistors, so I had to put a half watt resistor in there. But I guess that'll be fine as long as it's not some kind of safety resistor that's supposed to blow up. It's not. I'm not sure what it does actually. It has something to do with. I don't want to speculate. Anyway, so that's back to normal. Well, I shouldn't say normal. It's back to like non-org 0 mode. On the connector, that's what I thought. Didn't do anything to the serial board. The RAM board didn't do anything to it. The CPU board, I went ahead and I was following the directions to modify it for org 0 use when I discovered I didn't have any ROMs that were the right size for that. I didn't want to mess around with this the way I did with the controller board, because it's got all of these nice vintage white sockets on it, right? And I was afraid I'd mess one up, desoldering it maybe, you know. I didn't want to take that chance because it's so pretty, and I don't want to. I mean, it's so pretty. And now that I've presumably got an H89 that I can get working with a Z80 in it to run stuff that requires a Z80, I'm trying to leave like the H8 as old school as possible, you know what I'm saying? So it's got to all be pretty, right? But anyway, so I removed the modifications to turn it into an org 0 board then, but instead of putting wire jumpers back in, I soldered these headers in so that I could just wire up the board configuration. I also put some headers up here for the jumpers that have to be installed, the fly wires, I mean, for org 0 stuff. So it ought to be really easy to put back when the time comes. And I fired it all up with the 64K shitty homemade memory card in there, and both the normal RAM tests and the controller boards got a couple of 2114s on it. The test, those are 4K by 4, 2K by 4. I think they're 4K by 4 SRAMs. I may be full of shit on that. Double check if you have to. But they tested fine too, so my assumption is that everything is working as it should. It's running the memory test that's on the H17 hard sector controller ROM, so it appears that ROM hackery is working like it was supposed to. This means that I should be able to at least get HDOS to boot on this thing, if not CPM. And then once the rest of the RAM for that card gets here, because it'll work with the org 0 card, unlike my crappy card here, because this one has no bank switching logic on it. It's just as simple as possible, just to make it work, right? So once that RAM gets here, and once my 28 C16s get here, assuming they're not fake, and I can put an updated ROM into the CPU card, and I think I'll go back to a 24-pin socket on the controller when that gets here too, because it looks janky like that. And I want it to be pretty, you know what I'm saying? So he says is after he did that shit. But right, yeah. So yeah, I guess now I need to go get my H77 enclosure and put some drives in it and see if I can figure out Oh, I haven't found my sector generator yet. Oh, I've got to find that before I do anything, but it's 2 a.m. right now, and it's dark in the storage area, so I guess I'll have to look for it tomorrow. You know what? I'm just gonna order another VSG, because I don't know what box that thing went into. It should have stayed with the H8 stuff, but you know what a dumbass I am. I've got to get organized better. I think I'm like legitimately like stupid or something, right? You're not allowed to say retarded on YouTube anymore, I don't think. So, right. I believe that I'm waiting for DRAM for that card. I'm waiting for 24-pin ROMs for both of these cards. I think I'm going to go back to a 24-pin socket on the controller after those ROMs get here, because it just looks too janky. I mean, you can't see it down in there, but it still looks janky. I guess I could go ahead and put some drives in my H77 enclosure and get that all set up and see if I can turn the drive motor on and off at least. That would probably tell me if the FDCI integrated circuits are at least kind of working anyway. But yeah, I think, yeah, unless I run across my virtual sector generator within the next day or two, I'm going to keep looking. But unless I think I'll just order another one, just in case. I don't want to butt up right against Boatfest and not have one, because that would be bullshit, right? So I'll order another one. I'll keep looking for my old one. If I find the old one before the new one gets here, then I'll finish getting this thing working and get it to boot HDOS at least, even if it won't boot CPM yet. If not, then I'll just put it aside until everything gets here, including the new virtual sector generator, and work on the H11 in the meantime. So I guess we're getting it back out tomorrow or later today, as the case may be. Okay, bye.